Hello, you lovely people. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, my name's Kirsten, and here is where I adventure in art and craft. Thank you so much for taking time out your day to join me here. I know you have lots of options, so I'm really touched that you've chosen me to be one of those. Today I'm going to be doing the May prompt from Creative Paper Artisan Facebook group, and the prompt is to use one of the very many, or more than one as I'm doing, freebies that have been given in the group over the past years to make a folio. So I've printed out these two delicious little postcards with hydrangeas in. There's this is Pinky Ready bookmark and Whitey bookmark. This is a butterfly folio thing that I've already cut the butterflies out of. And there's also a template, and with this template I've cut out some paper pages already that I'd dyed. And what I did was I folded the paper until I've only actually cut once. So some of these, the writing on them, okay, some of these, the writing on them, like this one, will be upside down, but I don't mind about that. And this paper had been previously sprayed with milled lavender and tattered rose. Then this has been printed on tea dye paper, and this is one of the kit's summer journal, I think it's called, which there's 3 pages with these colours. That's one of the pages. The background of this one is one of the pages. Then the image on top of it is another freebie. Originally I thought I would do that this way, but I'm not 100% keen on it, to tell you the truth. So I printed it off again, as if it was, oh, let's get stuck to that bit of paper, as if it was A3 on an A4 sheet, because this is portrait, but I wanted it landscape because it's a folio. We have to do a mashup folio. So I printed this on A4 from it was an A4 portrait, and I've printed it as a A3 portrait, so I've got an A4 landscape, and I love this. Love it. And I mean, it's a lovely image anyway, but actually doing it like this, it just... So that's going to be the main bit of my make. And then I've printed off this, which is the latest Freebie Friday as of the end of May 2024. I've printed this off on rice paper, and you'll see what I'm going to do with that in a bit. But this that I love is going to be the base of our folio. And I was sitting there thinking, as I was gathering together all the bits, I was thinking, I don't want to do that and hide it. And then I thought, well, maybe I could print this off again and use that as the pocket. And then I thought, no, I don't really want to do that. Maybe I'll put some vellum or something. And then I thought, no, I know what I'll do. Because I'm already using, tea dye, rice paper here. I thought I'll use some of my own rice paper, which is very different from that rice paper. And here's a wee bit of it. It's got, can you see, it's got a bit of a texture to it, and it's way more translucent than that, although this goes a bit more translucent when you wet it. But I didn't have enough to go along the bottom. See, and then you've got your pocket for your folio without losing your picture. Although once you put something in the pocket, you lose the picture. But anyway, so I then thought, all right, okay, well, you're going to have to make some more then, Kirsten. And then I thought, I'll take you along with the ride on that as well. So I'm going to move these bits out the way. And we're going to make some faux rice paper the way I make it. And I'm very aware that the way I make it is different from the way a lot of other people make it. I think I'm just going to lift you up a bit. There we go, that's better. You can see now what I'm doing clearer. I do this very different from the way from a lot of other people do it. This way works for me. Doesn't mean you need to do it my way. I'm just doing it my way because it's me that's doing it and it works for me. I take PVA, just ordinary PVA glue, and I've had this bottle of glue forever and it's now getting near the bottom because the thing with PVA glue is I very rarely use it full strength, so a big bottle like that lasts a long time. So you can see I've not actually got an awful lot in there. And then I add about half as much water to it. And let's just get a wee stirrer. And then the next thing I do, which other people don't seem to do, is I add a bit of watercolour ink. Now you can use acrylic ink as well if you want, but I just tend to use the watercolour, and just the one drop. And what this does is it gives a kind of aged look to your rice paper. Right, and then what I do is I get my brush and I start painting. Oh, I was a wee bit rough there. Painting the glue on. I know why that went. It wasn't about me being rough. It's me having picked up the wrong brush, because of course this brush has got hard bristles. What I'm painting at the moment is, it's a 3-ply napkin, and this is one of the plies of the 3-ply napkin. You know when you're using your napkins and you get rid of the other two. I'm going to have to change brushes. There's the one I was looking for. You know when you're... Now you can see that doing it from the middle out, you do end up with a bit smoother. You're less likely to rip it. I'll give you that for a... And you can see how it's a different kind of... Can you see? You can see. Just checking there. You can see that it's a different kind of ripple you end up with. And here we go. I'm going to have just enough to do this sheet. And then once I get that last wee bit done, last wee corner, just check that there's no other wee dry bits, although mostly you'll find it will sort itself out and attract the bits. And then with the end of your brush, just push in. Now I do this for two reasons. Firstly, it just makes it easier to get off if there's a bit that hasn't come off. But as I say, using this silicone mat, I tend to find that it comes off quite easily itself. The other reason for doing, I haven't quite got this sitting on the glass mat underneath, which is why it's being a bit awkward. The other reason is I like the edging it gives. Put this aside and leave it to dry, and then I'll come back. Right, I'm back, and we'll get on with making the rest of it, bar the pockets, because we need it's over there, drying. We need that before we can make the pockets. I think we've cut out our butterflies. I don't need the template any longer. And we have these selection of lovely little butterflies. That needs a wee trim. That's not been very well cut out at all, Kirsten. The project that these butterflies were meant for was a little folio, and it's so charming. You'll find this freebie on the group, and this was actually meant to make a wee folio. And if you go in to get this, you'll discover that there is also a link to Karin making this folio up, and what she did with these wee butterflies was just absolutely wonderful. I'm not doing that. Let's start by cutting these postcards out, I think. Okay, so I've cut out the 2 postcards. I've cut out these bookmarks, which were the white one on one side and the red one on the other side. So they've got both. So instead of having a plain, I decided I was going to, shall I put plain back? Shall I do something else? And I thought, well, if I put the other colour bookmark on the back, these are the bits from the same one as the butterfly. And I've just noticed that's not very straight, so let's just quickly straighten that edge up there when it's got a bit of, I don't know if I'm going to use all these bits at all, but I'm just cutting them all out. This kit that this came from was a Tuesday make, and I don't think that happens any longer, because I've not seen a Tuesday make since I've been in the group, which hasn't been a long time. But it could be a case of it's something that doesn't happen any longer. It could be just having a break at the moment. But anyway, this was a Tuesday make, and Karin made the most wonderful folio with it. And you should go and have a look at that if you want to see some fun. So what I've done is I've stuck them together, and we'll now cut them out. Oh, it's still a wee bitty sticky. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to cut straight up there. I'm conscious of the fact that because I've printed it on the wrong, I didn't shrink it down, shrink to fit. So I've lost the edge of the other side, the back of the, I've lost the edge of it. So I'll cut this down here, so it means that the arc doesn't complete. So I think what I'm going to do is, rather than have the arch top, which I'd love to have done, but it's my own silly fault for not thinking. I do forget to shrink to fit so much of the stuff that you get. It's, you know, it's the American sizing, and then you find if I was reprinting every time, I'd waste so much paper. And so you can see here that the end of the arch is here, this side, and it should be all the way down here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut across the top, but I'm going to use my wee guillotine to do that. I'm just going to cut across where that meets, and it's still a lovely little card. I'm not going to ink up yet because I'm still working on things. These postcards, I'm thinking that this one maybe I'm going to fold in half down that wee centre line. Should have maybe got the scoreboard out, but never mind. And I'm going to make that into a little, I'm going to make it a little booklet out of these. That's, I'll keep those wee bits. And then that can go in that wee and create a wee book. Let's just stamp the inside of this though. I've got this stamp which is that's a kind of generic one. I can't tell you really where it came from, and I'm using malted mauve. It's hard to say that, malted mauve. Well, I find it hard to say. And let's just stamp this over the back to give it some, let's just go, not really looking at getting a clean stamp, just to get some bits on it, oops, so that it's not plain. Another one there we go, just to get a wee bit of interest on it. I'm conscious of the fact it's not very straight along the bottom there, so let me just trim that with my scissors. There we go. You don't need to do any measuring and pre-stabbing when it's a 3-hole pamphlet stitch for a little one signature. Just hold it carefully when you stick your needle through. Remember to grasp your thread on the other side, and then keeping your book closed, poke your needle through and it will come straight through down your line, down your centre line. Look, straight through on your fold. Then back down the other side. As long as you keep your book shut at least 45 degrees, a maximum of 45 degrees I mean, then you're not, it won't slip, it really won't. When you're going back down your centre, pull it towards your first hole, and then you've got a hole without your thread in the way to catch, and put it back through that hole. See, piece of cake underneath, so you've got one either side. Pull a knot that way, then a knot the other way. It's not as difficult as some people like to make out, and it's really nothing to be scared of. If you can sew on a button, I'm telling you, sewing on a button's harder than doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on a little thing like that. There we go. So I think we want something on the front, and we could put one of these butterflies on the front, couldn't we? Let's put one of these butterflies on the front. Which one? Oh, I quite like the idea of that blue one. And actually, where's one of these ones that's upside down? There's one that's upside down. We could put that behind the blue one. I don't mind the fact that it will be hanging over. I quite like that. Let's get a bit of wire, because I like to use a bit of wire for my, and copper wire for the antennae rather than the whole trying to cut they'll always end up breaking one way or another. So wire for the antenna, what you do is, if you just run a nail along, you'll get a curl at the end, and then you can either curl it further or leave it straight. And if you look at butterflies, more often than not, they don't have a curl at the end. And even when they do have a curl at the end, there's maybe one that's curling in the other, because they're feelers, and it's kind of just like very unusual for you to have your hands the same. So let's stick that all together. And actually, let's first of all get the right dauber and ink the blue one. Just so its white edges are hidden. And I'm only inking it with the pink because the pink is here and it's going on a mauvey pink background. Otherwise I would ink it in the, and I'm just going to quickly run round the wee booklet, the copper in between the two butterflies, because I want it to be on this butterfly. The other ones are reflection rather than, it's a bit of reflection. The other one's a accent rather than a butterfly in its own right in this instance. Well, it's this instance, so it doesn't need. Let's put that round there, put a wee bit extra in the middle to hold the copper feeler in place. And I always find it easiest to put the copper feeler on the back of the butterfly before then putting the butterfly where it's going, because it's much easier securing the feeler in the right place on the back of the butterfly first. Then, which side of this do I want? I think because it's going to show, we want that side. Let's just put that down like that, turn that round and have a look and see if that's where I want it. That's lovely. And then we'll put that on there like that. And it doesn't come, the wings are going to be overhanging, so let's stick it down like that, and then we can add extra glue where we need it, if we feel we need it, because I'm quite happy for wings to be a bit loose at the edges. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. So that will go in one of the pockets. We have this one, we'll see what happens with that. We've used that mistake up a bit. Now, this is, it's like a bit like a journal card, but we're not going to be able to write anything on that as is. Could do with that, could do with being straighter. It's a bit squiffy. Let's just trim that a bit straighter. There we go, that's better. Squiffy, there's a good Scots word for you. Squiffy means it's not straight. Let's see now, because I've straightened that out and cut this down, this looks out of proportion. It's okay this side, but it looks out of proportion this side, so I'm actually going to trim the other side as well, and that will get rid of that white line that I was going to ink out anyway, but it'll just, that looks better. No, actually, and that side looks better as well now. Just because there was lots of shading that I'd actually got rid of because of the way it was sitting, so that just looks more balanced. Right, what am I going to do with this? The front, probably, we could add a butterfly on the front. Let's put a butterfly. Let's do the same kind of idea with one of these butterflies that's upside down. although it's quite big, these butterflies, aren't they? So maybe, well, no, that's okay, because it just adds something, doesn't it? And which one should we use this time? Should we use this one here? Not sure about that one. No, don't. Oh, now there's a thought. We could use this one and actually do, let's do that. So let's, if we cut that in half, she says, hoping this is going to work. And then if I cut that down between the two wings like that, and put one wing underneath like that, and the other wing underneath like that. Well, that works, doesn't it? We just need to round off that wee bit there. Well, I think it works. And you buy a roll of this copper wire and it lasts forever. The only thing I would say to you, if you decide to do it, is make sure you get the fine stuff. I did once upon a time buy the wrong stuff. I bought this thicker stuff, and the copper's disappeared off it. Can you see? Some of it's still got copper on it, but the copper disappeared, a lot of it, and it's too thick anyway. So that's not copper wire, that's coated with copper. So get proper copper wire and it'll stay copper. There we go, that's looking okay. Oh, I should have done the back first, shouldn't I? Never mind. Never mind. What I want is, I want to just put a bit of something on the back to create a bit of writing space. So I've got a bit of tea dyed here. Let's just ink this round. I'm going to use pink on this. I'm not going to use pink on the other one, I don't think. And I have a notion to just tear off this corner. So I've torn off that corner for no other reason than I just thought it was looking a bit too, I don't know, it just needed something else done to it. There, oh, see, that just makes all the difference in the world, Kirsten. Now, do I want to stamp something on there? I don't think I do actually, but I do want some kind of tag. No. So let's just go in my little one that sits in my desk, see what we've got here. Oh, a little bit of this would be quite good, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's just use a little bit of, we'll use the kind of more pinky, that'd be good. Oh, not that green end though. Oh, the other end's green as well. So let's take a bit from there in the middle where it's less green. I'm going to hold it down, it should stick very much on its own devices. That's cool. I like that a lot. That's very pretty. Right, I'm back to finish off this project. We've got bits for going in. We've got the bookmarks, we've got these bits, we've got this journal card, we've got this postcard, we've got this little book I've made. We'll put them to the side because what I want to actually do now is get on with the folio that I'm supposed to be making. It's supposed to be a folio mashup, and not so far I've made all the bits for the inside. I haven't done the folio because now this is dry. Now, okay, it's now 1:40. That's 5 hours. I mean, this has been dry for longer than 5 hours, but it's 5 hours. But you can see it's now dry. You can see the difference between doing it from the center and bringing it out and doing it from the edges and bringing it in. There is a few tears, but that doesn't bother me. You can also see, I hope, that there is that kind of slight, rather than being white, it's now got a kind of vintagey look to it as well. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be the pockets that will go down the bottom, so I can still see the image. Haha. But I'm not going to stick them on yet. I'm going to leave that over there, because the first thing I want to do is I want to work on how this folio is going to look. Now we want it to be folded over and to meet so that there is actually a bit of a crossover. I don't think I want a massive crossover, but we do want a crossover. So let's just, now I haven't, because I have the ta-da moment with this fabulous chrysanthemum. The outside is just the plain tea bag. I'm just going to flip that over because there's a wee bit of glue on there. Just a plain tea paper. So I'm going to decorate the outside, and what I thought I would decorate it with is this rice paper. And I think what I'm thinking of doing is just decorating it with all this. I could decorate it, take it over there, and then do the rest of it over there, but my feeling is to decorate it. It could be a silly feeling, I acknowledge that. My feeling is to decorate it and then have a join. That means that if, for example, that's on there and this bit's on this side, then this bit is missing. But I think I know how I might deal with that as well. So basically that's my plan. So that's the front stuck on, and as you can see, it now opens and we've got all that. The big issue now is this flap here, and there's lots of things I could do with this flap. I could have just covered it all over. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find a bit of lace and put a bit of lace there, that it doesn't matter if the lace hangs over, but I want it to cover the whole of this. And if that hangs, it's going to stop that. That's the trouble, isn't it? It's going to stop that being so. Going to stop that sitting flush though, if I put lace on there. So what else could I do? Because I don't want to lose. But what I do have is I have this stamp, and this is from Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. It's part of the Patchwork Pieces CMS 270. Do you know what, that actually, I think that works really well. Now I'm going to just turn this over because it's sticky. Now we're going to decorate this, and again we're going to use some of these butterflies, I think. Yes. Right, so the first thing I need to do is stick these three together to give it a bit more oomph. Turn this back over again, bring this back down again, and we'll do these other ones. Right, I've got those two on the front. I'm not going to put the other one on, still letting that one dry. But what I'd quite like to do is I'd quite like to put a butterfly on the inside, but I don't want to use another one of these. I do have what I call my splatty butterfly, and this is a butterfly by it's part of Indigo Blues Nature One set, and if you look at it, see how it's made kind of like it's a big drop. What's that called when they do that with the pages and they say, you know, it's some kind of Freudian thing, I think, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going to use this big, it's not that big, but it's not small either. I'm going to use this splatty butterfly to give me a butterfly, and I'm going to use this ink again, this malted mauve. There we go. Oh, see, isn't that nice? Because you can see it's a butterfly, but it's very subtle. It's like it's part of the paper. It's very clever. It almost looks like it's underneath that writing. I'm now tempted to put another one on, but then I'll have to put a third one on, and I don't want to put a third one on, so I'm not going to do that. Let's put our pockets in. So that's the smooth side, and that's the textured side. And you can also see we've got the edge of the napkin, but that's okay. I don't mind that. There we go. Put that on there. Tried. What I do want to do is I just want to bring this right up to the top. So there, that's this one now stuck on that's holding that down, and we'll just put the wee butterfly that goes on top of that one. I think we'll have it. Well, we're back again. This, for me, is another day. For you, it's another second. But let's finish this off. I've got a pile of the things I'm going to put inside, and I've got my folio that I've finished. Well, I haven't finished it because I decided I wanted to put some lace across the top there because I just felt it needed something along that banner bit there. So let's fill this up while that's drying. So from all the bits and pieces I've made this bookmark, which has got the red bookmark on one side and the white bookmark on the other. So we'll put that in there. And of course it's got its butterfly on. And this is the postcard, and all I've done, I trimmed it slightly so it would fit in the pocket, but all I've done is inked that up, so that's got some space on the back for journaling. I've got a bit of this, looks like a bit of journaling space as well. It's the image from the front, this time on tea dyed paper. So we'll put that in there. We've got our journal card where we slit the wings in between. And of course these ones have gone a bit kind of haywire. Let me just try and get that one. There we go. That's better. Because I was trying to get them to go both those feelers to go both the same way, because we've got this butterfly at a different orientation from normal. And then we've got the bit of paper in the back, so that can be journaled on. And then we've got this little bookie made. That can go in there as well, and you can still see it through this paper. So I'm so glad I used this, because it also means you can still see the bits through here as well. This is a little journal card that was made with one of the papers from here that was left over, and I've just put some scraps of all the different bits of paper that have been used throughout the kit. This blue one was another bit of paper from this kit, and I also, there was a little butterfly up there that kind of was fading away into the distance a bit, so I've just heat embossed that little butterfly with some bundled sage and just put silver antennae on there. So that's a little journaling card for in there. And actually I need to put something on the back of that because of the heat embossing, the way it reacts to that. And then I've got this little accordion. We've got to use some of the paper. There's a butterfly and open up. And that's another bit of that paper that was left over, which is just a nice bit of paper. And then on the back it says The Secrets, because there's your secret bit of journaling space and one of the splat butterflies. So The Secrets, we'll put it in that way around so you can't see the secrets. And we need to put something on the back of this just to hide. This happens, I've said it before, but you might not have seen it. The matte, I don't know about the gloss photo paper. The matte photo paper seems to have a reaction to the embossing pens. So I want to cover up this. To start with, I thought I might cover it up with a sticker, and then I decided I wanted a word, and what I've ended up with is this just little style 1814. I'm happy that it kind of ties in with the rest of this folio, this mash-up folio. So let's put that in there. Let's not put that in there till we're sure that that's not got stick on it. It's not got stick on it. Let's put that in there. And then we can close this up. Tuck it underneath the wing. And there's my mash-up folio done. It's taken me quite a while, this one, mainly because I've had to do it in between doing other things, but I'm really quite happy with this, and I hope the recipient will be happy with it as well and enjoy all the various bits of it. I will link Karin's YouTube channel and her Facebook group, Creative Paper Artisan, below. You can get all the freebies from her Facebook group. Just join her Facebook group, join the group, and get your own freebies and make your own mashup. For now, thank you so much for bearing with me. You're a joy to have around. Keep crafting, stay safe, and we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.